As discovered previously, we all appear to have existed in some alternative dimension. Dweeb, Deroid, Asheronay. And then there was the alternative identity to the Lin machine, or as it is known in this universe, the Percussionator, or Satin Singh to his friends.
Satin Singh, percussionist extraordinaire. As Andy rearranges the furniture, he's roped in his long-suffering and ever-patient brother-in-law, Tony, to film some of the sessions.
Just get a vibe for it, and then we'll take them down once you're ready.
You don't want to go for one live take. Just go for a live take. Go for a live take.
Satin clearly wants to get on with it.
Well, maybe you want to just.
Because what happens when you play it live on the top of on the,
Yeah.
you can add little
All right.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Listen. Few words for that.
That's lovely. It doesn't actually stop that way. I haven't edited the form yet, but that's great.
Okay.
Right, next.
Well, that's done.
I'll bung a bit. I'm going to bung a bit of bongos on window shopping, although I haven't sort of got any definite ideas, so I'll let you.
Okay.
All praise Madonna. Some say that it's a joke, but some just want to live at home. Some say that it's alright, but then again, that's alright. Well, think it over. It's your belief. People need something, but as a message it seems brief. I heard it on the window pane, that new kind of thing. Try to get supported as a stunt where it seems to fit late.
What other instruments have you got here?
Well, these are called tumbador. This is the conga. This is the tumba. High pitch and low pitch. We've got some bongo. Not bongos, bongo. This is it, bongo, with the accent up here. And then we've got timbal. Not timbales. Some people say timbales. Timbal.
And Satin demonstrates his timbal.
Actually, what I'd say is it start off slightly gentler, and just make sure when the bands are happening that you're not playing over it. So it's
I was hitting that as well. You know that hit that? Okay, go.
But you could probably hit that, yeah, as long as it's just on the just on the beat, but rather than playing over it. Exactly.
Okay. Comme ça.
Yeah, I can, if I need to, I can always put a gate on it, and to be honest.
I mean, that's not like you just get an echo or something of the rooms, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you hear it because it doesn't sound.
Maybe I need to close mic it a bit more.
Is that the volume you're getting it?
Yeah, well, I had to turn it down a bit because it was distorted. I mean, it was going into the red. That was the only thing.
Oh, okay.
But let's try it one more. I'll try it one more time, and
It doesn't sound like.
I'll close mic it a bit.
Well, how's the solo? Just if you just hear it on the solo, does it sound?
Come on and pay that debt.
So these instruments, and they've got a little box of magic, you know. You can get your camera in there if you want. Especially this one. This is the secret one, but this one is good. You're using one of those.
Oh, Satin, you're a card.
time for a break and start again.
Yeah.
And everything falls apart. And
Yeah.
lose all the no, I won't say that.
Yeah, can you start that from the beginning again?
For real this time.
Yes, Andy, I think they've just bled that joke anemic.
The all-important money side of things. Oh, there we go. Thank you very much, mate.
Lovely, man.
In terms of this particular album, I wonder if you could explain, you know, based on having a background set of, you know, equipment and musicians to hand, has it been, is this still, could this be an expensive venture?
Well, it's not expensive by, you know, if you're talking about recording albums in real terms, it's expensive to me because it's all my own money. I think, you know, this is one of the things why I've kind of got more and more increasingly irritated by the attitude of the public, but more particularly some ludicrous comments from the media about downloading, as if that downloading for free is perfectly alright and all that sort of thing. It does actually cost money to make these things. I mean, I'm not saying anybody asks you to, but you should sure as hell be paid for your work. It's like, I often equate it with the fact that, you know, it's like saying that the people downloading, do they go in and do their jobs for free? No, they don't. You know, you don't get a bank teller being, we're not paying you today, and I don't go into Sainsbury's and start taking things off the shelves and say, well, I ought to have it, so there you are. But music, for some reason, intellectual properties, the general public really do seem to think that it doesn't cost anything and it comes out of nowhere. And it's not helped by the fact you've got conflicting points of view coming from different artists, like, you know, major artists who, thank you very much, made millions out of selling albums in the 1970s and 80s and are now saying that we should all give our music for free and make money out of live.
Yes, yes, Andy, get off your soapbox.
Not necessarily pull in the same crowds, and so the selling of the records and the downloading and so on, actually, you know, on iTunes is important to people like me, and it's difficult to convince people that they ought to buy things like my stuff if they're getting, you know, the bigger stuff for free. It's hard to explain to people, well, you know, it doesn't actually manufacture itself out of nothing, and I have to pay all the musicians I work with. It's not an O2 advert where some curly-headed git tells a lot of talentless people to come along and join a free band.
Well, at least he's got hair.
Is that the right sound? Is it a bit too... You want it a bit treblier?
Yeah, I think probably a bit treblier.
He's just said that. This is a clavinet, everybody. Cost £2.50 in 1970, now costs $2,500 on eBay.
Bear in mind.
Actually, I mean, what you had there wasn't that bad, actually, so...
The thing is, when it's amped up, it'll be a bit more, you know...
Yeah.
I wonder if...
Yeah, I don't want it to be too thin, because...
No, it just gets spiky after a
and
while.
also, the whole point of getting your clavinet is to get the sound. The gear has gradually got better. I've invested more and more in sort of vintage stuff with new, you know, new digital stuff, and so you've got this weird mismatch. But again, that's a new thing. That didn't really exist. In the 1980s, everything had to be new, and it's all sounded terrible. But now, yeah, there's a real mismatch, and it, you know, it does sound a lot better.
Well, it does when Matt's playing it. Percussion and second keyboard session with clav hire, another £315.